All right, what's going on, y'all? So today's day 4 of the new functional power building split. So today we've got another pull day. So I showed y'all a pull day earlier in the week. This is another one that's going to focus more on the entire posterior chain. So we've got some hamstrings and then of course back. And with today's back, I've got heavy pulls. So this is going to be a back session that's really focusing on thickness, and then obviously on the power building side, really moving up strength as far as pulls go. As far as how my body's feeling, I'm already, I'm feeling this week. We're on day 4, and I'm feeling stronger, but I'm also feeling, this is pushing my body, which is exactly what I want from this program. And we're going to be moving everything up. But another, thing is, I told you all the other day that right now I've set my food around 3,500 calories, and I've been eating, I would say 35 to 3,800 calories. Y'all probably saw in the video yesterday, I was munching on some candy during the workout. And so getting in some extra calories a little bit through there. But I would say I've been around 35 to 3,800 calories every day this week, and I am absolutely starving. So we're on day 4 and my appetite's already rolling. And me having been really tracking everything meticulously for the last several years, I'm really in tune with my body, and I can tell you that my metabolism is revved up, and it's revved up because one, the volume workload. Now I'm doing 6 days a week instead of just 5, but then 2, the weight I'm lifting now in the gym, it has definitely stimulated my metabolism, and with that the appetite. So I've had it set at 3,500 calories. With that, the weight's already going up. I started the week at 213, 214, and I'm already at 217 this morning. But body composition, we're only a few days in, so it's kind of hard to tell. But body composition seems like it's really staying tight. And with that, I'm lifting some weight. So I'm gonna have to probably be more aggressive than what I thought on adding food. I'm not gonna add food yet. I'm gonna, get through the first week at least. And kind of look at all the data from my weights, the progression in the gym, all of that. So we're probably talking, the first probably 7 to 10 days fully into the program before I start making adjustments, unless my appetite, right now I'm on day 4 and I'm pretty hungry. And I don't like coming into these workout sessions this hungry, especially when I'm really trying to pull or push some weight. So I'm probably going to be adding food quite a bit more aggressively than what I thought. But other than that, everything already, we're only day 4, so it's kind of hard to give y'all a kind of a full rundown, but everything's, rocking, and I am absolutely loving this program. Like I've said, a big, thing I'm wanting to do through this program is add, neck thickness and trap thickness, really build a big back and all that. And I'm sore. I'm more sore, especially through my back, neck, traps, than I've been in quite a while. And I've got, so I've got some hamstring movements in today. I've got a full leg day that's going to be more quad focused. It's going to be more squat focused. I'm going to be bringing y'all that in the next couple days. Tomorrow's going to be rest day, and then that'll be the next day. That's going to be, I've got 2 variations of that. So one is going to be more pure power building, what I've built out for, traditional conventional gym, power building style. And then one is actually a full-on traditional powerlifting squat focused workout. And that'll most likely be this next, in the next 2 days, I'll be doing probably the powerlifting variation. But with that, I've already been, I've been doing that for the last few weeks with some powerlifters, and, it's a completely different style for me, but I'm already seeing some huge strength gains with the squat. So I'll be bringing y'all that. But, today's going to be a full posterior day, with hamstrings in, but I'm not considering this my leg day at all. We're going to start with some hamstrings and then move on up the posterior chain from there. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this, give y'all the voiceover, and we'll get into it. All right, so let's get into it. So the first movement, this is going to be hamstrings. So this is going to be our only dedicated hamstrings movement for today, and frankly throughout the entire week. Hamstrings are going to get some secondary work on some of our other movements, but this is the only dedicated hamstring work that I'm going to do through this entire training block. So what we've got here is lying leg curls. Lying leg curls, throughout the years, I bounced back and forth on whether I prefer seated leg curls or lying leg curls. I think, seated leg curls, if you've got a great machine in your gym, is probably a little bit more optimal, because you can even see right here, my hips are lifting off just a tad, which, isn't optimal. But, um, you know, in the gym I've got, I don't love this seated leg curl, and I connect better with this line one. So that's what I do here. And I do 4 sets. The rep range is 8 to 10 reps. So I'm trying to move some pretty heavy weight. So the first set I did 8 at 180, which was almost the entire stack, 9 at 170 for the second set, 8 at 165 for the third, and then 8 at 160 for the fourth. So right here, this block specifically, I'm trying to really, really move the weight. When I was doing just traditional bodybuilding, my rep range on leg curls was typically more in the 10 to 15 rep range. So, I've definitely lowered that for this block just to really, really drive up strength. But that went ahead and finished off, our 4 sets for lying leg curl. Now we're moving into the meat of this workout. So set one right here, which y'all are about to see, it became very apparent to me that I do not have enough food in place. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the video. But, I went ahead, I threw 675 on the bar here. So I'm doing rack pulls. So I go ahead and put the bar about an inch below my knee. Some guys like to have it right in line with the knee. Some like it right above the knee. I'm kind of old school with it that, I believe the bar should be a little bit below the knee. My two favorite pulls I've always had in my programming is either rack pulls or RDLs. I like RDLs in place when I'm really focusing on hamstring and glute work, and then rack pulls, of course, for back thickness. So I've got 3 sets here. The first set, I wanted to get 4 to 6 reps. I overshot the weight a bit here and overestimated what I could do. So this first set here, the top set, I did 2 reps at 675. So, a bit disappointed with that, but I'll be able to kind of adjust next week and start with a little bit lower weight. I was just a bit overly aggressive with it. Normally, too, guys, I wouldn't, take my top off for this, but try to do what I could for a thumbnail, and then work in the algorithm what I could. So the second set right here, I did 5 reps at 585. So I pulled a plate from that last one. The second set, the rep range, I wanted to be in the 6 to 8 rep range. So I was still a rep shy here. I really believe, had I not tried to pull the 675 for the first set, I would have been in the rep range. So next week I'm probably going to hold here at 585. And then the third set, same thing, the rep range 6 to 8. The third set, which you're about to see, I got 8 reps at 495. So the 3 sets is 2 reps at 675. The second set, 5 reps at 585. And then the third set was 8 reps at 495. And I'm telling you guys, by the end of this is when it became very apparent to me the stress that I'm going to be under with this training block. The first week of any new training, you're going to feel it, more than, 6 weeks into a program, your body's going to be a little bit more adjusted to it. But with that being said, this is just going to be, a very taxing, heavy programming, which, is definitely what I wanted. This is, the way I built it. I want to, redline a bit. And, things are a bit different for me now too. I'm on TRT for the rest of my life now, and I'm not going to be cycling PEDs like I used to. So, I'm already kind of feeling the differences of, back in the day when I'd push a really, really, kind of hardcore programming with heavy volume and all of that. Me not having, the PEDs in place I used to have. I'm not natural by any means being on TRT, but, things are different now. So, and it's something I'm just going to have to get used to. And with that being said, I do love the challenge of that. And only having, the variable of, frankly, food and then adjusting workout volume makes things, quite a bit simpler. Okay, so now our next movement, we've got Arsenal plate loaded rows. So this I'm going to do 2 sets on. Rep range is 8 to 10. So the first set I did 8 reps at 320 pounds. And then the second set, I did 8 reps at 290. And guys, like I said, after those three sets of rack pulls, I was pretty slaughtered already by this point. It felt like I had been in the gym for literally hours, which I did have an in-person
training session right before this, but taking that out of the equation, I was just very, very dog tired by the time we got here. So with these rows, compared to the seal rows I have earlier in the week where I've got the dead stop, this is going to be more of the kind of like traditional row where I'm really trying to keep tension on the back the entire time and then really, really drive my shoulder blades back together as much as possible. Really, really create that strength and that back detail through the mid and the upper back, which you can see it really, really working right there. So by the end of these two sets, I was pretty slaughtered. And fortunately, we only had one more back movement to do before we moved into the last movement. So our last back movement, this is going to be new for this programming. I've of course done through my time in the military and even time through my bodybuilding. I've incorporated pull-ups, but never really had it dedicated in a programming. So I've got two sets here, and these are just going to be all out to failure. After all that pulling work, it's pretty slaughtered. So I do one set here with a pronated grip, and I did 10 reps for this first set. And I'm just, taking it all the way down. These aren't, kipping pull-ups or CrossFit pull-ups or anything like that. I want to take momentum completely out and almost act as if it was, the equivalent of like a lat pull down. And, me being like, 217-ish right now, it's essentially me pulling that. So I did a pronated grip for the first set, and then I did more of a neutral grip right here for the second set. And same thing right here, taking this all out to failure. I was only able to get 7 reps on the second set. So, guys, like I said, I was pretty dog tired and I could feel it. And I felt the lack of energy from a food standpoint. So one, my body just feels completely wrecked and tired, which it should at the end of a hard training week. But then two, I did feel kind of like I didn't have that sixth gear like I typically would and should if I had the proper amount of food in place. So, I'm going to talk about it a little bit later on in the video, but, it's by this time in the workout that it became very apparent to me of like, me missing that sixth gear and knowing I need to go ahead and add a little bit more food in place. So I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive adding that in, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a second. So now we move into our last movement of the day, and I did 3 sets on dumbbell hammer curls. So, I've got like 3 or 4 bicep movements that I shuffle through. And one staple that I always have in every single programming, I put it in every single client's program, is dumbbell hammer curls. I don't like having only hammer curls in place, but I do like, having at least one round of hammer curls in a week. It really creates great front thickness throughout the biceps. But the thing is, most people do this wrong. So my rep range here is 8 to 12. On biceps, I really like using heavy weight, but with proper form. So you'll see a lot of times guys will completely swing the weight whenever they're doing hammer curls. And that's why I also like to do both arms at the same time rather than, alternating arms. Really kind of, you can take that momentum out. And just like y'all saw on whenever I hit triceps, I'm trying to keep the tricep or the elbows, in place. So they're not, completely locked in place, but there's very little elbow swing throughout this movement. Like when you see guys that are, they're just swinging their arms doing biceps, you're using way too much momentum and taking a lot of tension out of it. So these 3 sets I did, the first one, 8 reps with 60s, the second one, 8 reps with 55s. And then this third set right here is 9 reps with 50. So, hammer curls is where you can really, really use a lot of weight, create that density, create that thickness, and then you can use more like alternating curls or like preacher curls, incline curls, something like that to get more of a little bit less weight, really isolating.
All right, so finish up that workout. So fortunately, I've got a rest day tomorrow. That workout, as y'all saw, even just doing the rack pulls, I was pretty slaughtered. So it's becoming very apparent to me how taxing this new program I built out is going to be. I am confident that with the right amount of food in place, I'm going to be able to handle it. But I'm gonna have to absolutely have recovery the most dialed in I've had it. So recovery's gonna have to be dialed in, and then I'm gonna have to figure out the food load. So tonight, I did go ahead. I've got a cheat meal. It's been probably about a week since I did a cheat meal. So I did a cheeseburger with spicy special sauce, jalapenos and onions, a double cheeseburger with spicy special sauce, jalapenos and onions, and then a 2-count or a 2 8-count chicken nuggets. So this is gonna be one of my meals tonight. This is not a regular thing. This is a cheat meal. So, like I said, I've been at like 35 to 3,800 calories this week. But energy, I definitely felt a lack of energy food-wise in today's workout, which makes sense. I've been pushing it this week. So we're gonna probably start upping things probably this next week, which is sooner than I thought. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get these burgers down. These things are delicious. They're from a place called P. Terry's here in Austin. They're kind of like upgraded McDonald's style. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these down, and then tomorrow's gonna be a rest day. I'm still gonna give y'all a video. We're gonna talk about one of the questions I've gotten quite a bit lately. We're gonna go ahead and talk about that tomorrow on the rest day. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this down, recover a bit tonight. Tomorrow is the Sabbath, church day, and then rest day. And then Monday we're starting again with a squat focused leg day. So we're right back into it. So like I said, my body's feeling it right now. But it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and start slamming food and make sure that my recovery's on point and all of that. But I hope you all have been enjoying these training videos. Definitely let me down in the comments if you've been enjoying kind of this new style. It's taking a bit more work for me, but I'm happy to do it for y'all. So if y'all are enjoying this, please go ahead and smash that like button. Let me know in the comments below. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. And God bless y'all and have a great rest of your day.